Pay close attention to this plant. If you saw it in a garden, you might assume it was just a wild plant with nothing special about it. An oxalates plant growing there for decoration, or an odd kind of clover. Its leaves have a slight heart shape and are small, soft, and lush green. Gently, its stems spread out over the ground. Large fruits, vivid flowers, and recognizable vegetable shapes are absent from the branches. However, the surprise lies beneath the ground. There are tiny, vibrant tubers beneath the base of this unremarkable plant. They may be white, red, purple, orange, pink, or yellow. They resemble tiny jewels concealed beneath the earth. Additionally, this plant is referred to as oca, or oca from Peru, in many parts of the world, an old tuber from South America's Andes Mountains. The interesting thing about oca is that it's neither a potato nor a sweet potato. It is a member of the oxalates family, which includes the somewhat sour plants that many people have seen growing in gardens. However, oca is grown for its edible tubers, in contrast to oxalates plants, which are typically treated as ornamentals or weeds. Despite not being a true yam, it is sometimes referred to as New Zealand yam. Why then is such a lovely, tasty, and intriguing tuber still so little known? Maybe because OKA is not in a rush. It is not a type of plant that can be grown for a few weeks and then harvested immediately. It takes time. A lengthy growing season is required. Most significantly, as the days get shorter toward the end of the season, it typically starts to swell its tubers significantly. OCA grows silently, its leaves spreading gently across the ground, in contrast to many other vegetables that have already been harvested early. Stores its energy, and doesn't start creating its most valuable part underground until the right circumstances are met. This is precisely the reason why a lot of new growers are dissatisfied. When they dig it up too early, they only find a few small tubers despite the plant appearing green and healthy throughout the season. They believe the plant has failed, but in actuality, they are just unaware of its rhythm. Oca is a patience plant. It will start to grow into a low bushy plant if you plant it in the spring after the risk of frost has passed. Its lovely, soft green leaves give the entire vegetable bed a more vibrant appearance. Because oca is edible and aesthetically pleasing, some people even grow it in containers. However, don't rush to look for tubers in the early stages. Giving the plant loose soil, consistent moisture without waterlogging, adequate light, and enough space to prevent weed competition are the primary tasks at this stage. Soft, well-drained, and organic matter-rich soil is ideal for OSA. The tubers will struggle to develop properly if the soil is too compact. The tubers may rot if the soil is too cold and damp. Okai, like many other root crops, thrives in an open subterranean space where the tubers and roots can spread out slowly. To protect the tubers and maintain the plant's stability, you can build up more soil around the base of the plant as it grows, just like you would with potatoes. The timing of the harvest, however, is crucial. Typically doesn't produce big tubers too soon. As the days start to get shorter, the tubers become more visible. Therefore, you might assume that nothing is there if you dig it up during the growing season. However, you will notice a difference if you wait until the end of the season when the plant has had enough time to store energy. You can start inspecting the tubers when the leaves start to lose their strength due to the cold. However, because the tubers sit fairly shallow and can be harmed by harsh conditions, do not leave them in soil that gets too cold or frozen for too long. Many people grow oe in pots or containers in areas with a distinct cold season, so they can move the plants under cover in inclement weather. As a result, the tubers can grow larger and the growing period is prolonged. If you want a better crop, this is a crucial piece of advice. Harvesting ochre is a very fulfilling experience, especially in areas where autumn is short or frost arrives early. Large tubers like potatoes are not found. Rather, tiny, long, glossy, colorful tubers are grouped close to the base of the plant. Some of them resemble tiny fingers. They're plumper. While some are long and smooth like polished stones, Others have a slight curve. Their colors are stunning once the soil has been rinsed off. OK is ideal for video content for this reason. The moment you unearth the tubers is sufficient to pique viewers' interest. It has a very unique flavor as well. The tubers can be crisp and slightly tart when raw or undercooked, almost like they have a subtle lemon flavor. When cooked, the sourness becomes milder, and the tuber turns softer, richer, and closer to the texture of a starchy root vegetable. It can be boiled, roasted, pan-fried, added to soups, stewed with other vegetables, or used in place of potatoes in certain recipes. In some places, people leave OKA tubers in the light for a short time after harvest to reduce the sourness and bring out more sweetness. This is a traditional treatment for many okra varieties. However, the flavor can vary depending on the variety. Some are more sour, some are milder, some are more nutty and starchy. This variety of flavors is what makes okra such an interesting crop to explore. Not only the tubers, but also the young leaves and tender shoots of okra can be eaten as greens in some places. But this part needs to be explained clearly because okra belongs to the oxalates family. The plant contains oxalates. This does not mean everyone must avoid it, but it should not be eaten in very large amounts, especially by people with a history of kidney stones or anyone who needs to limit foods high in oxalates. The safest approach is to treat OCA as a special vegetable to enjoy in moderation, not something to eat in large amounts every single day if your body is sensitive. The appeal of OCA is not only that it is edible, it is also a story about forgotten crops. In the modern world, we are often familiar with only a few common root vegetables, such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, and radishes. But in many ancient cultures, people grew and used many different kinds of tubers. Some were suited to high mountain regions. Some tolerated cold better. Some had unusual colors. Some had flavors we have almost never tasted before. Okcha is one of those plants. It reminds us that a garden is not only a place for familiar crops. A garden can also become a living library where old food plants are kept alive season after season by ordinary hands. Every small okcha tuber carries a quiet history inside it. It speaks of the Andes, of cool mountain air, and of farmers who learned which plants could survive where other crops struggled. And that is why OCA feels different from many vegetables. When you grow it, you are not only planting food, you are planting a crop that asks you to slow down and observe. You watch the leaves spread. You watch the stems cover the soil. You wait while nothing dramatic seems to happen. And then near the end, when the garden looks tired, Oksha begins to do the one thing it has been preparing for all along. It fills the soil with small, hidden treasures. If you want to grow OCA successfully, start with good tubers. Choose firm, healthy pieces that are not soft, moldy, or badly damaged. Plant them when the weather clears throat, is mild, and frost is no longer a threat. You do not need to bury them extremely deep. A shallow planting in loose soil is usually enough because the plant will form its new tubers close to the surface later in the season. Give each plant enough room. Osa may look delicate at first, but once it begins to spread, the stems can cover a surprising amount of space. This is helpful because the foliage can shade the soil and reduce weeds. But if the plants are too crowded, airflow becomes poor and the harvest may be smaller. Water is important, but too much water can become a problem. OSA likes steady moisture, but it does not like sitting in cold, wet soil. The best soil is loose, crumbly, and full of compost, but still able to drain after rain. As the plants grow, you can gently pull soil or mulch around the stems. This protects the shallow tubers from light, keeps moisture more even, and gives the plant a softer place to expand underground. Think of it like giving the plant a blanket, not burying it aggressively. The biggest mistake is harvesting too soon. Many gardeners make this mistake because they are used to crops that form quickly. They see healthy leaves and assume there must already be a large harvest below. But Oki follows a different clock. It usually waits for shorter days before tuber formation becomes serious. That means the plant may look beautiful for months, while the harvest is still only beginning. So when should you harvest? Watch the weather and watch the leaves. When cold nights arrive and the top growth begins to weaken, that is the moment to pay attention. If frost is light, some growers wait a little longer. But if a hard freeze is coming, do not risk losing everything. Oak's tubers are often close to the surface, and freezing soil can damage them quickly. Use your hands or a fork carefully. Start away from the center of the plant and loosen the soil slowly. Do not stab straight into the base because many of the best tubers may be clustered right there. Lift the plant gently, shake away the loose earth, and search through the soil with your fingers. One by one, the tubers appear. Yellow ones, red ones, pink ones, pale ones, long ones, smooth ones. After harvest, do not rush to judge the flavor on the first day. Some okja varieties are sharp or lemony when freshly dug. In many traditional uses, the tubers are exposed to light for a short period after harvest. This can reduce the tangy quality and make the flavor sweeter. In the kitchen, okra can be simple. Roast it with a little oil until the skin wrinkles and the inside becomes tender. Boil it until soft. Add it to soups. Slice it into a pan with other root vegetables. Some people enjoy the fresh crispness raw, while others prefer it cooked when the sour edge becomes softer. But remember moderation, because OCA belongs to the oxalates family. It contains oxalates. For most people, this simply means it should be treated like many other special greens and tubers. Enjoy it as part of a varied diet, not as something to eat in huge quantities every day. People who need to limit oxalates, especially those with kidney stone concerns, should be more careful. This does not make OA dangerous for everyone. It just means the plant should be respected and understood. And perhaps that is the lesson of oca. It is not a crop that gives everything away immediately. It hides its value. It waits for the right season. It teaches you that some foods are not built for speed but for rhythm. A gardener who understands okay starts to think differently. Instead of asking why nothing is happening, they begin to ask what is happening quietly underground. In a world where we often chase the fastest harvest, the biggest fruit, and the most familiar vegetables, Okia reminds us that forgotten crops still have something to offer. They bring diversity back to the garden. They bring color back to the soil. They bring stories back to the table. So, if you have a small corner in your garden, a few containers, or even just curiosity, oca may be worth trying. Do not expect it to behave like a potato. Do not expect instant results. Give it time, loose soil, gentle moisture, and protection near the end of the season. Then, when the leaves fade and the garden seems almost finished, dig carefully. You may find nothing impressive at first glance. Then your fingers touch something smooth. You brush away the soil and suddenly a bright little tuber appears. That is the magic of okja. Above the ground, it looks modest and quiet. Beneath the ground, it is colorful, ancient, edible, and surprising. A small plant, a long wait, and under the soil, a secret harvest. If you have grown okay before, share your experience below. Did your plants produce many tubers or only a few the first time? Did the flavor remind you of potato, lemon, radish, or something completely different? And if you have never heard of oca until today, would you give this strange little Andean crop a place in your garden next?